Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to watch today's video. Guys, we're going to be talking about fishing vast stretches of riprap like you see behind us right here today. Riprap comes in a lot of different forms. Some of it is little seawall, some of it's short stretches between boat docks and stuff. But today I want to talk about these riprap areas that have long stretches that look the same everywhere. Give you guys some tips and advice on how to catch bass on those. Also, guys, just a quick invitation out there. If you haven't had a chance, I'd like to invite everybody to subscribe here to Advanced Bass Fishing. It's really free and easy to do so. Just hit that subscribe button. And also a big thank you to everybody that's been using my tackle warehouse link that I put in the description of each video to purchase all your fishing gear. All you guys that are doing that's really helping the channel out, so I really appreciate it. Okay guys, I'm going to turn the camera around here and I'm sort of going to go down this real uniform stretch of riprap, give you guys some good tips and advice on how to catch bass on it. So here we go. Okay guys, here's a typical, just a uniform riprap bank. It's like all the riprap's pretty much the same. There's really no irregular features or things that hold bass other than just the rock. Now, some riprap areas, they have places, little docks on them, boat ramps, pieces of concrete here and there, maybe a lay down tree. But when you get on these areas right here that just have the same rock that go on and on and on, one of the things that you have to do with it is you have to determine the best technique for it. Now, the technique is determined by two things: water clarity and water temperature. Those are the factors that determine your lure technique. By far, my favorite way to catch bass off of these, anytime the water temperature is over 50 degrees, is a crankbait. Crankbait is an excellent lure. Usually in the pre-spawn period, I like a little bit larger crankbait, like some type of a square bill or wigglewort, parallel the riprap banks. And as it gets warmer in the summertime and the fall time, I fish the same areas with a small crankbait, like a little bitty 1.5 gallon crankbait, maybe like that Megabass Super Z2, just making, parallel casts down the riprap. And the whole key about a crankbait, guys, is you have to be hitting the bottom all the time. You're not going to catch many just reeling it. So you need to position your boat depending upon the angle of the slope of the bank, sometimes parallel, sometimes 45 degrees, so you can be knocking those rocks the whole time. And also, if you guys get some bites on a crankbait, you can go back through these same type of areas a lot of times with like a little finesse jig or shaky head and just fish real slow and methodically with that. Now that's if the water clarity is like under 4 foot. If the water is pretty clear where you're fishing, like 4 foot of visibility or so, or even maybe down to 3 feet, and the water temperature is under 50, a jerkbait is a really good lure on a riprap. You can cover a lot of water with it. With a jerkbait, a lot of times I like to make more of a 45-degree angle cast, because a lot of times these fish will be suspended out over 5 or 10 foot of water off the rock, because depending upon the riprap bank, some of this rock will run out 30, 40 feet into the lake. So keep that eye on your depth finder in order to, see how far that riprap works on there. Another good technique for riprap, guys, is slow rolling a spinnerbait. Just throw that spinnerbait, right up to the rock, slow roll it down the face of the rock there. That's a really good way to catch them, especially a white spinnerbait, like a white bladed spinnerbait. So those are some of my favorite techniques. Okay, guys, the main consideration when you're fishing riprap, it is lure selection. Lure selection has everything to do with it, because you're basically doing the same thing on riprap. You're just fishing the rock. You're not keying on anything specifically on here. The only thing that you're really keying in is the depth that the fish are using on that particular riprap. Sometimes if the water's dirty or if it's shady, low light conditions, they're going to be right up on the rock. I've seen good ones, guys, laying up there like in a foot of water on riprap banks. In fact, here's a good example. I was fishing a tournament down at Lake Texoma in Oklahoma years ago, and I was fishing this riprap bank like this, and a blue heron was right on the bank, and he speared about a 2.5 pound smallmouth that had to be like in less than a foot of water. I mean, he'd have to be able to see the thing. So those fish will get real shallow on these rocks looking for crawdads and stuff. So, the depth of fish are going to be in, like I said, depends on time of day, wind coming in on it, or how deep the rock is. A lot of different ways to fish it, based upon those factors. Wind is going to put those fish shallower. Cold water, clear water is going to put them out a little bit deeper on the riprap. But overall, the biggest thing you need to remember on riprap, guys, is fish slow, methodically, and, really keep in contact with those rocks. I don't care what bait you're throwing. Every bait needs to be on the rocks, with the exception of a jerk bait. where you're targeting those suspended fish. So anyway, guys, hope it helps out. We'll talk later.